It is 5:30 in the morning, and I'm just about to head out for our train to Birmingham for PodUK. Despite it being crazy early, I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody. It's our first chance to talk about Radio Elusia, our new fiction podcast, which is launching at the end of April. And so myself, Rob, and Morag are going to be in Birmingham at PodUK all day. Introducing the podcast, meeting some fans of podcasts, learning what it is to make a podcast, especially a fiction podcast, and just getting a feel for how Radio Elusia might fit into already what's going on in the podcast world. So stay tuned for updates throughout the day. We're going to be vlogging across the whole day from Birmingham, and then let you guys see behind the scenes of our first podcast convention.
But also we can't see what the original.
Yeah.
Morning, Rob.
Hello, this is way too close to my face. Bring it back.
Are you looking forward to our day in Birmingham, PodUK?
I'm going to finish this first and then I have an answer for you.
Morning, Morag.
Morning.
What are you looking forward to today?
I'm excited to see what people make of Radio Elusia. It's the first time we'll be talking about it with actual people.
How do we feel about being at Marylebone at 6:54 a.m?
It's a new experience for me, being up this early in the morning. But I feel ready. I'm pumped. Yeah.
Halfway down, it's just a bunch of burning crosses and I'm like very concerned now. Just like, oh, okay, that's tasteful.
We're just about to arrive into Birmingham Moor Street, and then head over to the venue for PodUK today. We spent our whole train journey, the last 2 hours, putting the finishing touches to competition for kind of our search for people to kind of phone into the podcast that we're creating, which we're going to launch today at PodUK. And then Rob, our associate director, and I have been talking about some of the sort of world building of the podcast, and how we're going to brief our designers further, who are composing and putting and editing the sort of podcast together. So really good chat, fueled by a lot of coffee from 7 a.m. This morning.
Like when industrialised areas in London have been renovated.
This is alright.
So here we are in Birmingham, just arriving at Millennium Point for PodUK and the launch of Radio Elusia. We're really excited. We're going to go inside, set up our table, our stand, get the banner up, and then start meeting people throughout the day. There's loads going on, from like workshops to live recordings, obviously loads of networking, but we're most excited about meeting loads of podcast fans from the UK, and just kind of hearing what they think about our plans for Radio Elusia. We're looking forward to it, guys.
I'm tired from all the stairs. There are so many stairs here.
And then we can match. Same haircut.
Hey Morag, how's this morning been at PodUK?
It's been really fun meeting so many people from the podcast world that we've only really interacted with obviously online, so it's nice to put faces to names and get some super top tips to help us when we launch in April.
That's been great actually, like being here a few months ahead of when we launch. Just people are so generous, like people are giving us really amazing advice, and like we're not having to ask for it. People are just coming over and being like, oh, here's this thing that we wish we'd known at the beginning. So
I feel like we should have just had a sticker that's like, I'm new here. As soon as people find out that like we haven't launched or that we're in the pre-production phase, they're so ready with top tips and tricks, and yeah, it's great. It's been really, really fab.
It feels like a proper community.
Yeah, and we're now part of it. So I thought I would do just a quick walk around and show you what the vibe is like here at PodUK. So here you can see Podcasters Promenade. Our table's down there a bit, and we've met some really cool people here from the podcast world. A huge different array of podcasts, from like actual play stuff through to fiction, through to like talking point kind of shows. Yeah, it's been wicked just to understand the diversity that's out there, really. And obviously within that we sit within the fiction group, audio drama podcast, of which we've met quite a few here, and it seems like, you know, there's such an appetite for this new type of storytelling. So that's really cool to see that this community has been like built around something that we've known as like predominantly a kind of live performance art of storytelling, and finding this digital community that is so like avidly invested in it is really cool. Yeah, so you can kind of see the vibe. It's like super chill down here, just people kind of walking around, meet and greet type stuff, and just finding out like what's kind of going on. Up the stairs behind me, little spiral staircase, is the auditorium where there have been like so many live recordings today, which has been wicked. We get to sit in and see, you know, how other people make their shows and what's involved. And we're about to go and see the Amelia Project live, which obviously is great. They're a massive show in the fiction podcast genre. And then just behind me, across the way by the escalators, is there are two other rooms, one of which is sponsored by Acast, which obviously is massive, and they have hosted a whole variety of workshops and panels. Like I went to one on Business 101, just talking about like you know, the different issues in terms of intellectual property rights and figuring out like what we as podcasters are entitled to and own, and that was really cool. And never really thought about it from a business perspective. We always just kind of talk about it in these super creative terms. And then what else? We've been to like an audio drama panel, which obviously is great for us to see what else is out there in our kind of bracket. Yeah, it's been wicked. And over here we got a little cafe, super zen, and we've been fueling up on caffeine as we've been here for I think 8 hours now? 7 hours?
You've got 10 minutes to go. And so you should really start making your way.
So then, as that announcement has just said, we've got to head up to the Amelia Project live, which will be super exciting. So here's our table.
Okay guys, that is the end of our day in Birmingham and at PodUK. How's it been?
Amazing. So much fun.
You both sound knackered.
How can you tell? How can you tell we've been up since 5?
Yeah, it's been a long old day. We are now definitely going off for a celebratory drink before heading back to London. Thank you for following along. We can't wait to share more on Radio Elusia with you over the coming weeks.